he was a dog that they ended up giving back from another lady that had similar issues. And for me, for my style of dog, I was like, I got kids.
Yeah, oh, no kids.
I'd rather not. I don't care how good of a trainer you are. There's a certain type of dog that I just don't want at my house.
No, for sure. Like when we're talking about house, like for instance, if I didn't have a kennel, Chico would not. I would not probably have brought Chico to my house. Number one, I already have a male there, Gage.
Right.
And I got little kids. Chico has extreme drive. He ain't nasty, but he also has extreme drive.
Yeah.
God forbid the kids are playing with a toy or something. And when I first got him too, he had no impulse control, and he would just take anything he wanted to take.
Right.
And when you have little kids, the type of dogs that I used to keep, dogs like I had a Shepherd, Onyx, Gage's dad actually.
Mm-hmm.
I bought Gage's dad when he was 3, and same kind of story like Chico.
Yeah.
Like really extreme dog. Crazy, much more aggressive, but like out of control from an older gentleman who was like 80s. He couldn't really, handle him anymore. He's in his 80s, right? So like we took the dog and I competed with that dog a little bit and we got a 3 on him. And then I took Gage, so I made a breeding with him and I took Gage from that breeding. But same thing, like dog was good with me. I would never have him with the kids.
Yeah, man.
Never.
You got to be careful with certain dogs like that.
Never. And I retired him. He lives with some dude in Florida now, and he's like a house dog. And so I think he did bite a couple people though.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, like you got to be careful with those dogs, and this dog was one of them. And so yeah.
But you know what? Those are good dogs, I think, for young trainers.
Yeah.
Like you're young, you don't have kids yet,
You think you want that until you have it.
So have
and
it.
You're like, oof, and you don't have the right place for it. It's like, oh man.
Figure it out. That's why you have it. Like I got the one young guy, Carson. He trains with me a lot, and he started actually work. He was a client, then he worked for me for a year. Now he runs his own training company.
Got it.
And Carson, we still train IGP together. He's not here. You would like his dog.
Yeah.
His dog is. But same thing. When he wanted to get into IGP, he's like, hey man, like I want a real one. Blah blah blah. Young guy.
Yeah.
No problem, bro. We found him a dog named Vasco, and literally the guys that I knew were like, hey. You take this dog or we're gonna shoot him. And he was bad. He was bad. One of the worst.
He was able to handle him and everything.
He was.
Nice.
He was. And that is great. Now he's like, bro, I don't ever want one of those like that again.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want them soft either. He doesn't like, he wants something like he has more of a.
No, but the thing is, they don't. Just because they don't have that side to them does not mean they're soft. It just means I don't know what it is, but there's a certain little screw loose on some of these dogs that I don't like, man. Like my first Malinois, he had a big time screw loose. He ended up almost killing somebody, and that's why he got put down. So I don't. And the crazy thing about it is that we saw it at 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Because he bit somebody at 8 weeks, and it wasn't like puppy biting. No, it was like with some intent behind it, like his eyes. You see it, man. This dude looked possessed.
My Mally was like that.
Oh, was he?
He bit me a couple times. Like I was usually able to like avoid the worst of it, but like he was like that. And he got progressively worse as he got older. And when I retired him from the sport, I was just keeping him as he lived in the house with me, bro.
Right.
Me and my wife. And we had 2 Chihuahuas too, by the way. So like he's in there with me and the wife and and for me the last straw was when he was fine with the Chihuahuas for years. And then once he went after the male and it was game over for me at that point. And the wife tried to pull him off, and he turned on her. He didn't bite her, thank God. But he was dominant, really dominant type of dog. Like if you tried to like put pressure on him in any capacity, and you were smart about it, he's coming for you.
Yeah,
and
man.
He's coming. Like,
yeah, man. And those are dogs. It's not like you didn't put a structure on him or anything.
No.
Just some dogs.
Bro, I have a picture of me and him at Banff.
Yeah,
like we did everything together. Like
it's crazy, and it sucks, man. Because my first dog that I had that was like that, I put so much work. Like I took him everywhere with me. I had a very close relationship with him. Mm-hmm. But when he tried to go after my daughter, I was like,
done.
I can't risk it. I can't risk. And a lot of people, I can't believe, and I hate to say, like, no bad. That's not a bad dog. Just at the wrong place or whatever, bro. This dog went to 2 other homes after me until he almost killed somebody.
So this dog, my Mally, for instance, I took him. I said, okay, no problem. He'll stay in the kennel and I'll work him. He was great with me. He just started getting weird around the family, like around 7-8 years. Just started getting weird around them, like I think it was 7 years. Started like just being dominant with them, like doing stuff that he would never do before, like for years. just started getting like that with them. With me, it was fine. Maybe it was also being retired from the sport, and just starting to get a little too much. I brought him to the kennel, and then I felt bad. I'm like, man, he's just living here in this kennel, you know what I mean? So ended up finding a guy to take him. The guy takes him, and he lived with that guy. He bit that guy pretty badly.
Really?
And then I think he also, that guy, the guy didn't put him down. He kept him, but he had a guy that would look after him. He had a guy that he would pay to go in there and feed. This dog attacked the guy that was looking after him and like put that guy in the hospital like pretty bad. But then he got testicular cancer, died. But it was like, bro, people don't understand until you have one of them.
Yeah.
And I think that's good. Like, if it's fine if you're single, whatever, you can live with that type of dog. I was fine with him. You know, I knew how to weave my way through living with him and managing him. But when you've got kids, you got a wife, you got little dogs, you don't play games.
Yeah, man. So and it's once you see it and you experience it, then you go, like, you stop judging certain people for certain issues that they had with their dog. You're like, yeah, that dog could be like that. You know what I'm saying? And they're out there, and and that's why I think it's funny a lot of the time, because a lot of people are always, giving you all this advice on social media and everything. It's like, you have no clue what kind of dog this is. And we deal with very driven, strong dogs sometimes, and that's completely different than if you have a little, I don't know, a dog that you would do tricks with and stuff.
For sure.
It's completely different dog.
Hey, lady with your border collie or your Sheltie, don't talk to me. You know what I
Not
mean?
when it comes down to that stuff.
Yeah, like, it's great. You're doing your tricks, and he does a really nice agility routine, and that's cute. But, and hey, I know that there's complexity involved in that too.
1,000%.
But this is not the same. And until you deal with these types of creatures, and it's not all of them.
No.
The vast majority of German working Shepherds and Malinois are really nice dogs to handle, really easy.
Right.
Nothing particularly special about them. But there's always a few that I think we breed for certain traits in these dogs. And as I'm sure you're aware, when you're breeding, you breed, this dog has really nice drive, strong gripping behavior, really courageous, dominant, strong dog. But it's not too much. It's enough that the dog can be handled, the dog can be shown. He's a really good dog. People are using him as a stud. Female maybe has complementary traits. You put them together, you're going to get a spectrum.
Right.
And some of those traits that make that dog good are good in that amount. But if you get maybe too much possession, too much dominance, maybe not as much nerve to support it, now you've lost stability, but you still have those other traits in a really high level, and you're in trouble now.
Now imagine dog aggression, real dog aggression.
Real, yes.
Like dogs that don't make they don't have to make crazy sounds. They just want to kill. Mm-hmm. That dog is completely different than your dog that's dog reactive, that most people think it's dog aggressive.
Yes.
I mean,
those aren't the same.
No, they're not the same at all.
No.
And to be able to take that genetic away from that dog.
Bro, I always laugh when people call me crazy. Oh, I rehabilitate fighting pit bulls. No, you don't.
Not real ones?
Not real ones. You cannot rehabilitate a fighting pit bull because that's what he wants to do. He's been bred for generations, generation after generation, to want to do that thing, to want to get in that pit and rip into that other dog and keep going until one of them's dead.
Right.
That's what he truly wants to do. No one forced him to do it. He wants to do it.
Yeah, man. And so, and it's tough sometimes because you got people, and I had situations where I told people a couple where I was like, hey, this dog is no bueno, and they ended up going to somebody else because they told them different, and bad accidents happen. And so, anyways,
I don't fuck around, Oscar.
Yeah.
Like, when I get a dog where I think A, kids are in danger, or B, the dog's gonna kill somebody or something. And luckily there's so few of those. Like, really, if you think about it, it's like fingers of one hand maybe I can count in the last few years, like those types of dogs that I've seen. I tell them, and I'm like, hey, and I know they'll go to someone else.
Right.
But I say there's good money and there's bad money. That dog's bad money. So yeah, we keep the dog, we train the dog, we help the owner train the dog, blah, blah, blah. And we, tell them a cool story about the dog. Now that dog a year later goes and hurts a kid.
Game over. Yeah.
Bro, I'm not having that on my conscience.
Right.
I'm not having my company's reputation
1,000%,
involved in that. You go ahead to somebody else. He'll tell you whatever you want to hear. He'll take your money, and good luck to you and that poor kid.
Yep.
You know,
no, I agree, man.
Yeah.
It's dangerous.
No. Kids and dogs, we don't mess around.
Nope.